So this is day 5 since the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced that he will be closing down the Canadian and American borders for any non-Canadians and people who do not have PR status, followed by other measures such as social distancing as well as the much needed economic relief packages for the Canadians who are impacted by the coronavirus. A lot of stuff has actually happened since then, and the past 24 hours I have experienced something I never thought I would, which is all restaurants across BC have been prohibited to receive dine-in customers, meaning only takeouts as well as delivery services. It is definitely crazy times that we live in today. As of this past Tuesday, on March 17th, 2020, I started my day worrying about the impact of the coronavirus, not knowing what the day has in place for me. However, I got a call around 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and I walked out of my now ex-employer's office by 3:30 p.m. It has been a few days since I learned about my departure from my now ex-employer, and I would like to capture how I'm feeling right now after I passed through the initial anger, frustration, and stress, and perhaps share my situation with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who may be going through similar or already gone through similar experiences as I have right now. I will not go into any specific details about my now ex-employer for the time being. Perhaps I will do a video later on. Perhaps I will never do one. But I would like to take a moment to reflect on what is happening in the world, what has changed so much in the last 3 months, and document my true reaction and the strangest times that we're living in today. As I was driving home this past Tuesday afternoon, the sun was shining on me. The sky was as blue as it gets. The weather was as great as it gets. It was a lot of sunshine. It was barely any clouds, and it was blue skies. And for those of us living in Vancouver, that is the weather we dream of. But as I was driving home, even with the sun shining on me, I felt cold inside. Not physically cold, but just the stress, the frustration, the anxiety about what is to come, about how fragile the world really is, and how fast things and the world as you know it can change so fast within such a short period of time. While dealing with all the anxiety, the stress, the uncertainty about the future, and while still meeting all my financial commitments. After I got through my initial shock and I got through the initial stress, frustration, anger, I have begun planning for what I need to do in the days to come, in the weeks to come, and even in the months to come. I feel just like any other setbacks that we know in history, we will move forward, we will get through this, and we will move on. And then at the end of the day, when we have kids, when we have grandkids, this is just gonna be one of the stories where we will be sharing. This will be one of the stories that we'll be sharing with our kids, with their kids, by a fire or by their beds, to document how we got through the worst pandemic that is known as coronavirus or COVID-19. So below are the steps I have already taken or will be taken since learning about my layoff, and by sharing these steps, I hope this can help you to be more prepared than I was when I first learned about the news. Of course, if I miss anything, I encourage you to comment down below so whoever might be watching this video can learn and be better prepared. First, as I learned from my now ex-employer about my departure, one of the things I immediately did was to ask those who oversaw my work to see if they will be comfortable and confident in becoming my references as needed. I also reached out to some people that I work with in my exposition just to ask them to see if they will be comfortable in providing a good reference for me as needed. Secondly, I posted my situation on LinkedIn as a post, sharing the news that I am immediately available and actively looking for work in the worst time possible, and basically open myself for help and guidance as well as connections, leads, anything that may help me to get through this critical time. Obviously, I'm assuming that very few employers will actually be hiring at this time, but then I wanted to make sure that I leave no stones unturned. Third, as I got home and had a chance to reflect on what's happening, I updated my resume, I updated my LinkedIn profile, I updated my Indeed profile, I updated my Monster profile. So just be prepared for your online presences. Make sure you have the most up-to-date version of your profile and resume as possible. There's also a feature on LinkedIn. It's basically telling people who are in the recruitment function that you are actively looking for work. So make sure you turn that on as well. And luckily for me, I do have 1 month of free trial for LinkedIn Premium, which I immediately turned on. I'm not sure how impactful and effective it will be, but then again, this is just basically doing everything I can, just making sure that I explore all the options and features that's out there to help me to find my next career challenge. Fourth, because of the type of work I do have a lot of headhunters from different recruitment agencies reaching out to me for different opportunities every now and then. So what I immediately did is for those recruiters I have worked with before or I have recently interacted with, I just reach out to them just to let them know that I'm immediately available in the market and will be actively looking. So basically the message is that if you have any suitable openings, please do let me know and we will move forward. If you think I'm the right candidate for in terms of the skill sets, in terms of the qualifications, in terms of the experiences, then let's work on something together and then try to move our application forward as soon as possible. Now, that quickly summarizes my job hunting strategies for the time being. And below, I wanted to take a few moments to capture the steps I'm taking financially to prepare me for this winter that is to come. First, I did this immediately following learning the news, and I encourage you to do the same, which is to explore your financial standing and basically have a good understanding on how much runway you still have, how many days, weeks, or months can you afford, assuming you don't have a job, any steady income, and still being able to meet your minimum financial commitments. For me, it's not pretty, and then my savings is limited, but then at least after doing so, I do have a good understanding of my runway until I run out of cash or basically savings in my accounts. Next, I plan on cutting back on all non-essential spending. Obviously, with the way the coronavirus has resulted in lockdowns in different facilities, basically it kind of helped me to suspend my gym membership. But then let's say you have any monthly recurring subscription services, basically the idea is to cut any non-essential spending for the time being until things get better. Secondly, I started exploring the different government assistance programs that may be applicable to someone like me, and I encourage you to do the same. The Canadian government has been introducing new and different relief packages to different people. And then I am assuming that wherever you're watching from in different areas of the world, there probably will be similar assistance programs introduced by your government, and this is time to explore such benefit programs. So this can range anything from deferring your rent or your mortgage payments, your car payments, your credit card payments, right? So anything that can basically be eligible for payment deferral is perhaps something you should explore. In addition to those payments, and you should also explore anything from like utility bills, property taxes, right? Outstanding bills for government agencies, stuff like that. The list goes on and on. Third, if this is an option, I'm not sure what kind of like job function that you perform, but then if you just recently lost your job, basically explore the job market. If it's just a cash job, if it's just like a job that can start on the second day. So I'm actively and then seriously weighing different options. You do have the option of working with the major food courier companies, and then you can become a food courier with them relatively quickly. Or perhaps in this critical time in our humanity's history, e-commerce giants like the Amazons, right? They probably need a lot of fulfillment associates or just parts of the supply chain just to move the goods out of the Amazon fulfillment centers to different warehouses to different distribution centers to different people's homes. So during this critical time, my thinking and my strategy is basically to be as prepared as we possibly can. Getting some cash on the side, getting a job if you already lost one. The idea is that during this special time, you just wanted to be as prepared financially as you possibly can. If you recently experienced something like I did, losing my job, just basically wanted to get yourself back in the game and back to good financial footing as soon as possible, right? So cash jobs, food couriers, Amazon associates, supply chain, be parts of the segments there. It's just one of the things I'm thinking of doing. But obviously, depending on your situation, right? Just weigh the different options that's available to you. And then the idea is also, if you do have like a corporate job and you're not thinking of like making a major career switch right now, you should still consider the flexibility for you to interview and get back to whatever you have been doing as a profession for a living. So just to have some flexibility with your schedulers for interviews, as well as have some time to do your application. Fourth, just be prepared for everything. Obviously, this is like a critical time, and nobody is able to tell us what's going to happen tomorrow or next week or even a month from now. Nobody's able to tell us if things will go back to normal, like say 3 months from now, just like what China is going through right now. However, as of the shooting of the video, March 22nd, this is just around 2 a.m. in the morning. It was reported that China has no more new coronavirus cases being reported. So from the initial outbreak of the virus in early January until this is almost the end of March, right? So January, February, March, realistically, we may be looking at an earliest window of 3 months before things will start to go back to normal. So just be prepared as much as you can. Obviously, for those of us who have recently gone through an employment status change, this is by far the worst time possible to start job hunts when you don't already have a job. I'm fully aware that it is going to be a long and treacherous journey ahead of us. I'm just as frustrated about the situation as many of you who will be watching this. And I'm hoping to stay positive, I'm hoping to stay motivated, and I'm planning to definitely stay healthy during this unprecedented time and to show my resilience. And I will encourage you to do the same. Like I said, until such a time I know humanity as we know it is coming to an end, I will plan as if this is just gonna be a temporary setup, and I will encourage you to work as hard as you can just to get yourself together, to support your loved ones, your families, your friends, whoever the case may be, to get through this together. If you find today's video helpful, insightful, I will really encourage you to subscribe, to comment down below, to give me a like. This really helps with the YouTube algorithm, especially during this critical time. Until next time, stay strong, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will talk to you in the next video.